Hello, all. This is Dr. Day Maslak talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk to you about how to think about not getting tenure. So, if you don't know me, I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward and help you out as much as I possibly can. So this video is probably really geared towards people that that are going through the professor route and researchers that didn't get tenure. So first of all, I want to point out, I want to disclose right now, I did get tenure, and I just really don't know what you're going through at this moment. It is probably a really difficult process that you're going through, and I feel for you in a lot of different ways. I'm sort of very empathetic in a lot of different ways because as you might not have known, in the last few years, I just got tenure. I think it was like last summer I got tenure, and it's been a very emotional experience for me after the whole tenure process, leading up to it and after it. And so I don't want to diminish anything that you're going through at this moment. I know it's challenging in many different ways, but I want you to sort of think about some of these tips that I sort of had to have done in order to cope with the experiences of that. So I'm probably going through this vicariously in terms of feeling a lot of the different feelings that you're going through in terms of not getting tenure or those sort of experiences that you have. And I'm not trying to diminish them in any sort of way, but these are the things that I have had to do and sort of deal with these experiences of going and getting tenure. So first of all, or second of all, my colleagues are wonderful at my institution. They're quite supportive, and I speak very highly of them. So none of this reflects upon them. It's my own sort of personal experiences in terms of how I'm dealing with this and processing it. So the first thing that I would do in terms of if you didn't get tenure or if you just got tenure and you're going through the same sort of experiences that I am and that I'm going through, where you go through this sort of really weird transition where you're questioning yourself in a lot of different ways. So what I would do is actually invest in a community around you, and creating this community and building on a community and developing a community, whatever that is. It might be within the academic world, but most likely it's probably going to be, and for me it's been, many other different things outside of the academic world. And it might be going to, a religious organization, right? So whether you're Muslim, for example, and you start attending your mosque a little bit more, right? It could be any sort of thing like that where you sort of look for a community to belong to, and it might be within your town that you're in or city that you're in, and you try to build a community with them. I did a number of different things. I started to attend my church a little bit more. I started to join a fitness group. It was like a men's fitness group, which was it's been really fun. I'm trying to participate in other different areas of my life, doing this whole reciprocity project, all sorts of different ways to deal and cope with these experiences that we go through. And part of it is just to know that there is a community outside of academia and the sort of narrow focus that you have, and it really does help in a lot of different ways. The second thing that I would highly recommend for you to do and to think about is to go see a therapist, go see some sort of counselor, a psychiatrist, whatever it is that you're looking for, and just talk about all these kind of things. We all go through these different experiences, and many of us, myself included, do need to go and talk to other people. And it does really help in terms of processing some of these feelings, all these sort of doubts and experiences that you have. And I think for me, it's been very extremely important to sort of go through some of these things, to have somebody else to talk to that is, external. Maybe it's somebody outside of your family or whatnot, but somebody that you can actually chat to. I think it really helps you in terms of grounding you and sort of giving you a little bit more of a basis to go forward. And I highly recommend it. Now, the other thing that I want you to realize, and this is the third thing that you probably have to think about a lot, because it's going to keep coming up. These sort of feelings that not getting tenure is a reflection of your performance in some sort of way, right? So the process of getting tenure at any institution, no matter where you are, it is a process, which means that there's many different things that are going on behind the scenes that might not necessarily reflect your performance. Or even if it does reflect your performance, there's probably lots of different things that happen in your life that can affect your performance, right? So you have to be well aware that there is more to your life and more to other people's life and more to the tenure process than just the number of publications that you have. You really have to think about that and really process that and start developing and looking at things around you that matter to you, and really start thinking about this in terms of how to deal with this as a person and to structure yourself around not just understanding yourself in terms of academic performance, but thinking in terms of many different ways, many other sort of dimensions of your life. And now I know that's really difficult for most of us, because most of us we've been in academics for so long, and we've been sort of going towards that direction for so long that we've kind of gotten trained to think in terms of just performance and academic performance, and what we need is more citations and all that kind of jazz, right? More publications, but there's more to life than that. And coming to terms that there is more to life to it is a really important part of the process, whether you do get tenure or don't get tenure. For me, it has been very helpful, and I have to keep grounding myself in many different ways whenever I start getting edgy about this kind of stuff, right? Whenever I do the social evaluations, or starting to look at other people and starting to see, well, how come they're more important, have greater performance than I do? There's many different reasons why that is, and you have to realize that you are a different person, and you have many different things that are going on that they might not have, or there's many different resources that they have, whatever it is, that there's many different factors that are going on, and realize that your performance and your tenure process, yes, some people are going to say, well, it's due to your performance. Well, nuts to them, right? It doesn't necessarily matter what they care about. What matters what you care about in your own life. So you have to really look at that in terms of dealing with these sort of issues, right? And being okay with that, with who you are as an individual. And I think this is the fourth thing that I've had to do in the last, especially in the last year. It's been a weird transition, where I've been investing in myself a little bit more, and realizing that it's okay to be me, and it's okay to be you as well, right? So whoever you are, if you're watching this in the middle of the night, realize it is okay to be you, and it doesn't matter what other people say, and maybe you're imperfect, maybe you're problematic, but likely you're not in a lot of different ways, that you are a really remarkable person, and you have to sort of acknowledge that you're a remarkable person and you've done well for yourself, even if you don't get tenure. That there's many different things, right? So if you don't get tenure at, I don't know, whether it's University of Chicago or the International Institute of Political Science of Ohio, whatever school that you're at, and you don't get tenure, just realize that there's many different things, and it's difficult to get tenure at any institution. So you have to really acknowledge that, and if you do get tenure, just realize that you're really fortunate, because luck was on your side, right? Most of us, the whole tenure system is set up such that the cutoff, it is usually, it's one way or the other. It's not clear cut in any sort of way, and it's done so on purpose, right? So you can go one way or it can go the other way on the whole process. It's done so on purpose, because that gives them a little bit more leeway in terms of decision making along the way. And if you don't get it, acknowledge that the process is pretty random in a lot of different ways, right? And so you have to acknowledge that and be okay with that you are not problematic in any sort of way, that you're not imperfect in any sort of way. You're okay to be you and whoever you are. The next thing to realize after that, once you've gone through some of these things, right, and it's going to take some time. I'm not saying it's like it happens overnight. It takes months to sort of go through these sort of realizations and deal with these kind of things. The next thing is to realize that the next position you get, whatever that is likely going to pay you more, and it's probably going to be a lot more suited than what you have right now, right? So that not getting tenure is often a blessing for many people, because it allows you to go and get in the academic job market. You often get a better paying position, or at least one that sort of suits who you are as an individual a lot more. And you have to acknowledge that that is okay to find those individuals. So it's a process. It's a process of self-discovery and realizing what you're about and who you are, and acknowledge that that is okay to go through those processes, right? So a lot of us don't want to deal with these sort of processes of self-discovery, and it's hard to deal with these things. And as you are dealing with them and being open with them and open with other people, like I'm doing right now, the easier it does get over time in terms of dealing with some of these things. So just be okay with and realize that there's many opportunities. Not getting a position, not getting the job that you thought you want right now is often a blessing for many people. There's lots of people that go through this experience. It's not uncommon to not get tenure, or for people to say, at your third year review, for example, to go and find someplace else. That is totally okay, and often that other place is much more suiting with who you are, and the people are much more open to who you are as an individual. You do run across many different people that sort of experience this and tell about this experiences that, yeah, it would have been cool to get tenure at that place, but is even better or more amazing with where I am right now. The only thing that doesn't have is maybe the prestige. Maybe you make a lateral move and you go to someplace else, and the pay is just as good. Often because of the sort of luck factor and all the sort of different components that go on behind the scenes, um, it is an imperfect process. And so if somebody doesn't pick you up here, somebody else is going to pick you up someplace else that is likely going to be better, in many different ways. So realize that there's many opportunities going forward, and this is not the end of, end of your career in any sort of way. Um, and the last thing, and this has been a thing for me, and it is for you as well, is to realize that you have to keep moving forward. It's not a moment that you just kind of stop and realize that yeah, you can take a break and sort of do all of these moments of self-discovery and stuff, but keep moving forward, whatever that looks like to you. And it's very helpful to know that you can keep moving forward, and it's okay to keep moving forward. It's likely if you keep moving forward and keep moving in this sort of trajectory over time, that you just continuously improve in whatever that trajectory is. Maybe you go into industry, maybe you go into academics and you keep investing in academics, whatever. Maybe you do a different kind of academic position, maybe you go into administration. Whatever it is, likely it's going to suit you better, and that way you can invest and keep going forward a little bit better. So realize that you're well on your way to being very successful in your career, and this is only just yet a stepping stone in your life, that that you're going to feel. I'm not going to downplay it, but at the same time, there's much more to life than just getting tenure or not getting tenure. All right, so that's all I wanted to say with this video. Take care, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and have a wonderful day. Bye.